meat and curry, I'm your man. Cause how we all lose it is a mystery. It's like the changing of our wardrobes from a dire history. But it's the one making us not stop. 50 kilograms is all we've got to drop. La 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 la, la 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 la.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's 0% Drop podcast. Joining me this week, we have fellow host, legend, Samuel James.
Zero.
How are you,
How
Sam?
you doing, Ian? Yeah, good. Thank you, mate. All the best.
How's your week been, Sam?
Not the best week, if I'm honest.
Really?
Haven't fallen off the wagon. If that's what you're thinking. No, I've just had a very frustrating week with a niggling injury.
Yeah? What sort of injury is it?
Well, I think it's the osteopath that I saw yesterday actually mentioned the name of it, but it was a very long medical name. But basically, it was a little muscle that connects vertebrae in my neck, basically trapped. So it was causing me some pain and sleepless nights.
What's the remedy for that?
Well, I think I'm on the road to recovery. I can move my neck about now, and the osteopath got to work and manipulated it yesterday, and I had a much better night last night. So I think I'm on the road to recovery.
Yeah, love that. And what feedback did you get from the first episode? Because my phone hasn't stopped. And we've even taken some podcast virginities, haven't we?
Yes, yeah. There's a couple of people that said that it was quite nice hearing me and you in their ears.
Someone said to me, it feels like I've been with you all day, but I haven't. It's nice.
Yeah, it's quite cute. They're having little meetups with us and we don't even know it.
Yeah, it's just the fan base has just gone out of control. Talking about the 0% drop. So this week, Sammy, I think we should talk about 0% drinks.
Sure.
The reason being,
sounds like a good starting topic.
It's a lovely, maybe even 0% drops. A lot of people who aren't sober go, what's the point of a 0% beer? I'll just drink Diet Coke. The other angle to it is navigating 0% drinks is a bit of a minefield because there is horrible beers out there and some delicious ones. In the theme of 0% drinks, what's your kind of go-to guide, Sam?
Yeah, I just wanted to add a quick analogy actually. When you mention around what people say, like, you know, what's the point of having a 0 beer? You could have a Diet Coke. Someone said to me earlier this week, someone said to me about 0 drinks. They said, isn't that just like porn on the radio? That's what they said to me earlier in the week. It's like consuming porn on the radio. That's what they said to me. I beg to differ. I beg to differ because they've helped me.
And how have they helped you?
Well, I would say the way in which you still have the feeling that you're having a drink when you're maybe like a bit of an adult drink when you're at a social event. I know you mentioned last time about all the events people do where you do the birthdays, the weddings, wetting the baby's head, stag do's. It just makes you feel like you're still having your beer and your norm from what you've done previously. You're still getting that kind of same feeling, but you're not having the alcohol within it. So it kind of maybe feels something to hold in your hand, still in a nice cold chill bottle.
Fair enough. And for me, when you walk into a restaurant, you go, "Can I have a 0% drop?" You don't say that. "Can I have a 0% beer?"
They look at you very weird.
They go, "Are you talking about the #1 fitness podcast in Kenya?" No. When you ask that, you sometimes get a bit of a reaction, don't you? And I had the other week, someone went, "Are you the designated driver?" I was like, "No, I don't drive." And they were like, "Oh, why would you not just drink then?" And they just couldn't understand that. Someone in the community said something very funny. What did they say?
Oh yeah, they said that they said 16 or 17-year-old said something to them, didn't they? A barman or something.
Yeah, who just like insulted them. What's wrong with you? Or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
What
it's a bit of a taboo, isn't it, with some people?
it is a bit of a taboo, but I also find it like zero friendly pubs are a thing, which is a bit nuts, isn't it? Like it's not hard to just fill one of your shelves with 0% drinks, but some pubs go above and beyond, don't they? They're like whole rack, top shelf, plus below.
Yeah, some places are very, very accommodating. One of the weird things is though, if there's not a menu, I find it weird when I've like it's kind of a bit of a thing to ask them, oh, what 0% drinks do you do? Because they might just turn around and say Beck's Blue, and that's all they're offering, or they might come with a big menu of different mocktails and zeros.
This is a bit of a scientific question, actually. So I went out on Friday, maybe Friday, with a group of drinkers, alcohol drinkers, and I went pint for pint with a zero with the alcohol drinkers. Saturday it was actually after football. I woke up in the morning with a headache,
Okay.
like what can only be described as like a zero headache.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hangover. It was like it was as if I'd been poisoned headache.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. That makes it sound 10 times worse. But it was like, yeah, I can feel that I've put something not normal in or something that I shouldn't have put in. Have you experienced the 0% hangover?
I have had something like that, but I didn't know whether it's a placebo effect where it was my mind saying to me, you've had all those beers, so this is how you should be feeling, and that's how you're feeling. But I would definitely say that I've had it where I've had a few on the night, and then it's a bit of a bloat because they still got the carbohydrates in them. They're still carbonated, the ones that are like the lagers. So you can get bloated off of them. But unlike I haven't I haven't done it in a night where I've bought a crate of zeros and I've just put them in the fridge and I've just smashed one after the other after the other. I haven't never done that. I've had quite a few, but maybe if you was drinking pints worth after pints worth, I could see why the next day you could be feeling like that.
So I did probably 3 0 Guinnesses, cans they were mainly. Actually, that was probably about 5 0 Guinnesses.
Okay.
And then I had three, no, two Lucky Saints, but draft.
Okay. So this is what they say. You're mixing the what do they say? Mixing the grain. Because I remember if I used to go out on the normal or with an alcohol volume beer, if you were switching between stout to lager, it's not something you'd commonly do on a night out.
But you know when you wake up when you've had an actual piss up and you get that pain in your head, it was like that, but incredibly mild. And I woke up going, "Oh, I don't feel 100% here." Did I have a 0% hangover? Is that a thing?
I think we need to throw it out there to the community and the listeners, like how many drinks have people had to give them a zero hangover?
Is there any scientists that can tell or even beer makers who can clear up? Can you get 0% hangovers? And what is it? Is it like I don't know what's in 0% beer. Is it just too much carbohydrates?
Yeah, it must be a certain chemical, but obviously I know we've got loads of scientists listening, so if any of those scientists could feed back to us, that would be fantastic.
What's your routine then on a night out? Are you zero? You say you don't drink a case of zeros.
Yeah.
I,
No,
I,
I
I,
just
I would move on to the 0% gin. I find it quite nice, but
yeah, I was going to say about that, but then is that passed on from if they're getting it from a wholesaler, or like if you go to, for example, to Tesco or Sainsbury's in a supermarket, the zero gins aren't. It's not like they're really cheap.
that's my point. I think that's a liberty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like saying pint of orange juice is, let's say, £5, and then saying the squash that's a concentrated version of it should be 50 then. Do you know what I mean?
I think it would help people as well. The fact that they always say, oh, if you're giving up the drinking, then you're going to save yourself loads of money. Well, that's not the case at the moment. In what the prices they're charging in the pubs.
The one
Yeah.
I will give O'Neill's had a poured 0% Guinness in, like they put the can in and then they kind of the can goes into this machine thing, and then they pour it like a normal Guinness.
Okay.
There was work that went into that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I will
yeah.
pay my money for that.
You've got to pay for the
Opening up,
labour as well. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, opening up a can of beer, putting it into a glass does not warrant over a fiver.
I tell you what, actually, I've had it quite a lot with the zeros where you go order a Guinness at the bar and they'll let it sit and they'll pour it for you. When you order a zero Guinness, a lot of the time they give you the can and the glass and they say, "There we go."
Do right, that's happened to me. That happened to me on Saturday multiple times, and they charged me a
And
fiver for
they
that.
look at you weird as if they can't pour it, like they've never done it before. They look at you weird.
This is why pubs are shutting down. Liberty takers. Because the other thing is, back in the day, non-drinkers used to get their drinks for free. If you were the designated driver, some bars would give you drinks for free, like tap water and
Yeah.
soft drinks for free. That should be the same as zeros. I know there's probably an extra cost to it. And also, whoever brews beer out there, if you want to come on the podcast and explain why it's expensive, then fine, let's do that. But you need to come up with a valid reason why it's the same price.
I would say though that I've heard that they basically go through the whole process of brewing and producing the beer, and then they have to do an extra process to remove the alcohol at the end. But let's get a brewery, or let's get a scientist or a beer maker. Let's get them on, and they can explain why the cost is like that.
Yeah, okay, I'm in for that. Outrageous. That sent me off. Yeah, I woke up with a hangover.
How much do you think you spend on your night then?
About 35. No way, because I was buying. It was in a 2, and then I bought.
Rounds.
But I bought rounds. And truth be told, I didn't go home with a kebab, and I didn't stay out till 5 in the morning. So
Yeah.
probably saved a bit of cash there. But and I didn't eat a load of morning feeling sorry for myself. Headache wasn't that bad. It was just a little.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit dusty, you know.
But yeah, one of the things I would say is that now, like, you'd think I wouldn't go in with a round with people that are drinking pints, but now that the fact that the zeros are basically costing the same, you might as well just go in on that round with everyone so that you're back in the mix.
You walked up to the bar, went, "Can I have a lager?" and they gave you a can of Foster's, and you paid over a fiver for that.
Yeah,
You'd
and
be
they
throwing
gave
it back
to you
over
to
the
pour
bar.
yourself.
Yeah. So the other thing I've got is unzero friendly restaurants and bars. I find that bemusing at how you can't just have a couple of options.
Yeah, I had a wedding actually this summer just gone where I was drinking zeros. I thought I'll have one of them, and then another boy that I was with had one. So we went back into, there was wine on the table for the meal, so we thought, oh, we'll go into the bar and get some. And then she went, oh, we're out. And I know no one else was on the zeros, but we'd had like maybe 3 or 4 bottles, and she was like, yeah, we've got no zeros left. And I thought, oh, she's just going to go to the, I don't know if they have a wine cellar or
What
like
sort
a
of venue
beer
is it?
or somewhere. It was like a manor house wedding.
That might be the hosts are probably the issue there, not the bar.
Yeah, it was in Dorset, but I was thinking, oh, she's just gonna go out and get some more. And she turned around and said, yeah, that's us done on zeros. So I said, oh, have you got like a zero gin or a spirit to mix it up with? And then she was just like, no, we can do like a lime cordial or whatever. I was like, that's me then.
I reckon that could be the hosts. Because when I did my wedding, we pre-bought all the booze, and luckily there was a bar there for all the extras that we put some money behind the bar for. But if it's a place like that, they probably don't stock anything.
Okay,
So it could
you
be
think
the
the
host.
hosts haven't communicated that?
Yeah. So the hosts
Right,
are
well,
probably
hopefully they're
gone.
not listening and I'm bitching about them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, at your wedding though, I remember there was definitely zero
Well, that's
beers
a
at your
licensed
wedding.
bar, so that they would have stocked it already. I didn't buy any.
Okay.
If they were just using my stuff, then there would have been no zeros. Because it's the last thing you think about. It's like soft drinks, that sort of stuff. You don't go, oh, actually, 0%.
I've actually got to shout out my neighbours actually, because we went round there for a party beginning of this year, and they actually said, oh, we've got you some zeros because we know you don't drink. So shout out to my neighbours, because they did think, and they did get some in the fridge cold as well.
Yeah, I rate that. At least you got an invite as well. I've had a few situations recently where people go, yeah, like they will send a picture from a pub, and I'll go, oh, thanks for the invite. And I'll go, well, you're not drinking, are you? And it's like, oh,
so you don't
nice.
even exist.
I don't exist. Yeah. And yeah, I see that as like probably right. At this moment in time, I couldn't think of anything worse than going to a pub, to be honest. There's plenty more things to do. But it's a bit wrong, that, isn't it? It's a bit wrong.
Yeah, I'm maybe the opposite. I'm excited for Christmas coming up. I'm trying to get a few socials going ahead. Like we're going to the darts. I'm excited to get in the pub with the boys. And obviously there is zeros out there now, so that's wicked. And I find it a bit of an adventure going from the pub or to the bar to find out what they've got.
Yeah, I think the zero market has improved, but I've done social events sober, but December's the time where I'm breaking my sobriety. I've said that for a long time.
Yeah.
The worry that I've got is every event that I've got booked in December is a 30-pint event. Like, it's not.
Okay.
I'm not just like, oh yeah, let's catch up because we haven't had a chance to catch up. I've got karaoke, I've got darts twice, and it's all like day sesh goes into night sesh.
Danger zone.
Yeah, where I'm like now, like actually, could it be safer to just not drink? Because I'm generally worried about, like, think about getting a headache off a couple of zeros. I could have a serious headache off that.
Although it might be the other way around. It might be better with the zero headache, maybe way worse than the normals. You'll wait and see.
It was close. Do you know what I mean? I was dusty. I was dusty. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's what I'm quite feeling. It's a bit apprehensive, to be honest. But what's your kind of top 5 ultimate 0% beers then?
I'd say the OG, my undisputed one, which I always have cold ones in the fridge, is the Estrella Galicia Zero.
Oh,
that's
number 1.
That's my favorite beer, zero beer by far. I used to get it from what is it called? Majestic. You know, like the wine stock.
Yeah.
They did a crate of that for £8 for ages. So you get, I think it's 12 bottles, but it's £8.
For £8.
Yeah, I think they have put it up to £11 or £12 now, so it's like about £1 a bottle. But I'm still gonna buy it. That's like a 0.0, and it's a very nice lager.
0.0. So that's your number 1. Was it out of interest? Were you an Estrella Galicia drinker when you were drinking alcohol?
Yes. I would say what fits the mold very well is that I like a cold cerveza. So like in a nice bottle. Doesn't have to be I wouldn't say I was a big pint drinker. I like a nice cold bottle, so like a smaller amount.
What, when you weren't drinking? When you were drinking, you were a bottle drinker.
I would like bottles. I would still have pints just because it's easy with the round. They'll be like, all right, we're gonna get the pints of. I went for a stage. I remember I went for a stage like Peroni, Moretti. Would sometimes go on stouts. Obviously, you're not gonna get stout like a Guinness in less than a pint. But I like when I'll be abroad to have like a nice half or something like that.
Oh, that's fucking controversial. That is like a little bottle of Soul or something like that.
Yeah. I'd like that. To be honest, I think it was. I think I got a bit too involved with the culture in Brazil when I was literally there for 7 days. When I went there, they basically would serve the drink. So they do like just a big bottle, but you'd serve it between 3 of you, and it'd be in like these ice cool like wrap around the bottle basically, because it was so hot over there. The drink got too hot too soon, so you drink it in like smaller little bits,
like a amounts. Schooner in Australia.
Yeah. And then in Brazil it would be like, so I'd be sitting with one of my friends and this Brazilian man, and we would have like small amounts, but then it was really cold and served, and you have it then you get another cold bottle out the fridge. And maybe I indulge in the culture too much, and since I came back from a 6-day or 7-day trip to Brazil, I've now like smaller cold drinks. Okay,
so Estrella Galicia number 1. What's number 2?
I would say at the moment it is it's a peachy IPA from M&S.
Wow,
I believe it's M&S own brand. It says Renegade Brewery on the can, but I think it's M&S own brand.
Renegade Brewery. There's a Renegade wine distillery in Bethnal Green. Okay. And they have bottles of wine with their customers' faces on the labels. I've got some in my house, and it's just the eyes and the mouth that you see.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
Might
be the same lot.
That peach IPA, I think it's like 0.4% or 0.5%. So it's one of those where they've said that they can't wholly say that there's no alcohol remaining in it, but it's had the alcohol removed during the process.
See, I heard that bananas and soy sauce has 0.5% alcohol.
Yeah, I think some soy and fish sauce can actually go over 1%. I
That
mean,
is
obviously,
controversial.
those scientists that are going to tell us about the process can also let us know about that. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. 3.
I would say Asahi Zero. We had some of yours recently, actually. They were pretty,
Little cans as well.
yeah, they were pretty drinkable, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that I didn't get a zero hangover from them.
Yeah, I've got some of them in my fridge at the moment. They come in a pack of 4 and then in a crate of 24, like 6 packs of them in there. So yeah, they're pretty easy to drink.
5, 4, sorry.
Great question. I'm gonna say my last 2 that I mentioned. I'm not rating them either way, but I've got to put Guinness Zero in there. Guinness Zero, because it's a completely different drink. It's obviously, a stout, but I think they've done a really good effort on that to replicate a Guinness. I mean, it does taste slightly different, but it's very, very drinkable. And that is something I would have in a pint.
Next.
Heineken Zero, the last one, just because I feel like that's where I started on, and I feel I've got the amount I've had when I've been to different restaurants and bars. I've got to put that in there. That was my lifeline. That was my lifeguard at a few places when I was first starting out.
Mine's different. Guinness Zero's unbeatable. That's number
Okay.
1. OG.
Oh, I haven't even mentioned Lucky Saint.
So mentions go to Lucky Saint number 6. You didn't think of it, so
Oh,
can't be that good.
That's high. That's very high.
2 for me is Erdinger.
Okay, yeah.
Have you tried one of them?
Yes, I had one of them. I think I had one in Germany.
It's in theory an isotonic drink is how they're
I was going to
marketed.
say, I've seen that on there. It's basically Lucozade, right?
Yeah, so apparently after marathons and stuff, people are drinking these to replenish so it's high in carbs, but also the salts and stuff that is all part of that isotonic. But I had one the other day. It was heavy like a meal, but I enjoyed it. And there's something about a 0% beer. It's got a bit of a like tinny taste to it. I didn't get that with the Erdinger. Number 3 for me is Days Lager, which is an independent. I think they're Just Brew 0%.
Yeah, I've had Days IPA, and I've had the lager as well. It's in the cans, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the lager's better than the IPA, personally.
Yeah.
So that's my number 3. Lucky Saint pour in pints, right? So that's why they're commendable. But the San Miguel pint, 0% pint I had at South Bank Football Club, I think was better than a Lucky Saint.
Yeah, I've got a real thing. I really like Lucky Saint out the bottle. I've had a few pints recently of Lucky Saint, and I prefer it out the bottle. But maybe that's just because I'm a bottle drinker.
Yeah, maybe.
But honestly, Lucky, it tasted different for sure.
You're a bottle job in theory. That's so. Is that worth the mention? Because it wasn't great. It wasn't like, oh my days, that's amazing. And if I get a 0% in a bar, what am I happy with? I think I'm not happy with Peroni, but then again, I've never been that happy about Peroni in a normal pint because again that gives you a bit of a punchy head when you drink it normally.
Have you tried Corona Zero?
No,
That's
wasn't a Corona drinker.
Okay, I'm just going back to what I like, aren't I?
Yeah,
Your
list could be
now.
fucking barbing.
Settle
Yeah.
down, Sam.
The other one I had was I tried Mash Gang Stoop, right?
Okay. What
An
was that in?
American Pilsner in a bar in the Bermondsey Beer Mile. They served it in a can. It exploded when I opened it, and I lost half a can. And they didn't like it. There was a mop. He gave me a mop. No replacement.
Did he open it, or did you have to open it?
I had to open it, but I want to do it justice. I really want to do it justice. It's not fair otherwise, is it? I went on a mission to try and find some 0% stouts the other day, and the one that I found wasn't very good, but luckily I can't. No.
I'm glad that Beck's Blues made neither of our lists because come on now.
Yeah, Beck's Blues a complete no-go for me. I'd prefer just a Diet Coke if that's the case.
Yeah, 100%.
Peroni, Heineken, maybe Heineken comes into mind, maybe. Lucky Saint. Oh no, I'm looking at some photos now just to get the old brain going. There's a 0% bundle you can buy on Amazon for 23 quid, which is still cheaper than what most pubs sell their one can for. So the free dam,
Okay, yeah, I've had that.
that's in there for me. I reckon that's number 4. And do you know what? Fair play to you. Asahi. Oh, Asahi could be 3. I'm gonna go Asahi. No, Asahi 4, free dam 5.
Yeah, do you
I'm
know what? I think there's a clear difference between quite like the Erdinger, for example, is in a big bottle. The Guinness is in a big. So you obviously a pint man. I'm a smaller serving man.
Have you tried any of the 0% bitters?
No, no, I haven't.
I tried it wasn't an old speckled hen, it was something
Would
else.
Doom Bar fit in that?
Yeah, there is a 0%. Oh, not Doom Bar, there's
Oh
0%
shit.
something else. Go Ship. I didn't have a good time on that.
Okay, that
Oh,
wouldn't be my type of drink anyway. So I'm thinking, well, just because it's a 0, why would I go? Why would I go for that? Like the thought of a Doom Bar. My old football manager used to drink Doom Bar, and we got these warm Doom Bars as part of a challenge once for the other boys in the team to drink. And I've had a sip of it, and I will not be having any more of it, 0 or non-zero.
can I say something though? I'm with you. I can't stand real ale. Apologies to my brother who will be listening to this. He loves the stuff. I can't stand IPAs, but the 0 ones are drinkable, whereas the alcoholic ones taste like soap. So I wouldn't leave them off your list because actually they're a lot more subtle than the actual alcoholic ones. I'm looking here. There's a Nirvana. No, I've missed one out of my top 5. I've missed one out of my top 5.
Okay.
Chisk 0.
Just 0. Malta's finest.
Malta's finest. But I do think the market's screaming out for a market leader. Like you walk into a pub, you know what you're going to buy. And I don't feel we've found that today. Have you
I
tried the
think.
Bavarian stuff? Bavaria 0. I have tried that somewhere in a bar.
Yeah, I tried when I went to Cologne in the when I went to Cologne in the summer for the Euros. I tried a few different 0 beers there. Yeah, I think that okay. That's the place where I tried the Erdinger when I was on board a river cruise and I had a nice pint of Erdinger.
The 0% drop community, there's been a couple of beers put into that, isn't there? From our expert tasters, the 0% community legends. They shouted out the Devonshire pub near Piccadilly because they do a poured 0% Guinness.
They got it on draft. Yeah.
They truly, the word was unbelievable. So that's a couple of sober heads. It looks like a creamy sensation of pure pleasure. Did you know there is a 0% map that they've got on the Guinness website where you can see all the pubs where 0% Guinness is sold?
Yeah, I was going to say on that, a boy I know from Edinburgh actually messaged me yesterday. So I said to him, there's a map where it shows where Guinness is sold on draft, where Guinness 0 is sold on draft, and where Guinness 0 is stocked in a can. So it gives you them 3 places. Now, the Guinness 0 in a can, I found quite close to home. When I narrowed it down to Guinness 0 being on draft, it looked like there was 2 in central London, and that was it. But he was looking at Edinburgh. I don't think he was getting too much traction.
I'm looking here. So we've got some entries out of 10. So we had a bonfire stout from the Drop Beer Company. So I love stout, right? I love Guinness. Like a chocolatey coffee taste to it. And it's smooth, ice cold, creamy, amazing. That is. So I thought, well, while I'm sober, I want to go and get my hands on some decent stouts. The 0% Guinness is obviously good. So I went online and someone recommended the Bonfire Stout from the Drop Beer Company. If Guinness 0, let's say in the non-alcoholic world for me, is probably a 9.4 out of 10.
Okay. Hi.
I would say this was about a 7.1, maybe. And the reason being is I didn't get any creaminess. The head on the stout was like do you know like a can of Coke that fizzes up? It was that
Yeah.
kind of texture. It was like bubbles, not
It
cream.
was it wasn't very full.
Yes. The taste was a bit like a stout squash, not like
Okay.
a. Do you know what I mean? It was a
Yeah.
bit weak, and it wasn't. I didn't get any cream to it. It was a bit. It wasn't thick. It was like a. It was like a squash. It was like a stout squash. So well,
Doesn't sound like it's completely satisfied, like the wholeness that you was expecting.
no, but then again, it still gave me the stout taste. It still was quite refreshing. It was quite a nice, like from a 0% perspective. Maybe you don't want the full thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to kill it, but it was a 7.1, which is, run of the mill. You drink one. If you got one on a bar, you're not going to give it back. It was all right.
What size can did it come in?
The 330 milliliter.
Oh, this might be the problem, because that might have been perfect for me, but not up your street.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
What glass did you pour that in, can I ask?
Just whatever. It was at home. I had it.
Okay.
I had it in a pint glass, and I put
Do you
two
think
in
that, do
there.
you think the glass makes a difference? Because obviously, there's the thing where it's gone viral online where people are getting served Guinnesses, like obviously alcoholic Guinnesses. They're getting them served in like Carlsberg glasses and all these random things, and they're like, yeah, it doesn't taste good, and I'm not drinking it out of that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't think so. I put 2 cans into a pint glass, and it
Okay.
was meh, meh, meh. The next ones that have been rated in the group is Greg Wade, sobriety legend.
Shout out,
He
Greg.
he tried the Brooklyn Brewery Special Effects Happy Lager, which is labeled a low alcohol option. And he believed that was 8.9 out of 10 and excellent.
Ooh,
I haven't had one of them.
I've never tried it either.
Yeah. So anyone out there want to give us their review on the Brooklyn Brewery Special Effects Happy Lager? Do you agree with Greg Marr? Greg Marr? Greg Wade. Greg Wade. Shout out Greg Marr as well. Legend. Another sober boy, isn't he? Yeah.
I'm
Ledge.
very tall.
Yeah, very tall. Like a tall glass of Peroni. That's something you would
Yeah.
drink out of.
I'll maybe have to meet his little brother.
The next one we had another review from Greg Wade, who shout out to the Red Inn in Newport, served him a 0% Erdinger, 9 out of 10. He rated that, and arguably
Wow.
one of the best lager styles, 0% out there. He said, I agree with that. And do you know where I drank mine? I drank mine in the Railway in Bromley, and it was a bloody good drink, a little sup. Very nice. So there's
Maybe
a
you
couple
and
of
Greg
ratings
could go on
there.
an Erdinger session.
Yeah, we could. A little Erd and a bad boy. And then, yeah, the 0% Guinness I rated out of O'Neill's. I'll put the pint picture on the Instagram. It's a thing of beauty. It really is. And fair play. Like, they do it in stages. They pour it like they do in Guinness. But a bit of feedback from the barmaid said, I don't know what's in the 0% stuff, but it's so hard to get the head right because it just expands and expands and expands at the zero. But honestly, that pint picture of a 0% Guinness is a thing of beauty. It is a beautiful pint, isn't it? That. And away from that, oh no, we have Greg Wade rated the Days Pale Ale Lager 7 out of 10. So he's
Okay.
not a Days guy. He said
Mm.
that it tastes like it's been flavored with vinegar with a very bitter aftertaste. 7 out of 10. Up there with Beck's Blue.
Ooh, I've had the Days IPA, and I'd say it's quite nice.
That's a scathing review. What I think we should do is get all of our ratings together and then make an official 0% drop community rating of all of these lagers. Jay Carpenter. This is the best pale ale 0 I've ever had. Much better than Days, much better than anything I've tasted. 9 out of 10. Infinite Session. It was the label went round. It was quite hard to read. Infinite Session IPA.
He
9
was
out of
upside
10.
down
Jay
for a second
Carpenter.
there.
Yeah. There you go. So the other one you put in the group was Leffe 0. Is that in your top 5?
No, I think I went a bit rogue. I saw it down the end of a Lidl aisle when I was grabbing a few bits, and I saw it and I thought, it said blonde on it, and I know it's a different type of beer. I wouldn't wasn't naturally going out and drinking Leffes and those Belgian type of beers when I was drinking. But I thought it's a zero option, so I'll give it a go. But I would say it was drinkable, but I wouldn't be getting near my top 5 with it. Although it was served in small bottles, I would say to them, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Was it as pungent as the normal one? Like, because the
No.
Leffe's a strong beer, in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was. It was refreshing, but then there was like the first taste it was good. Then afterwards there's a little bit of a taste that maybe it's the blonde type of beers that I don't like, as opposed to it being a bad zero.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a Leffe fan normally. The other ones that we've had in the group, Zach was drinking an Old Speckle Hen low alcohol, but no rating. And Carl Radley was on the Freedom Tostada, non-alcoholic lager beer, Tostada. And Carl Radley, most of the toasted 0% in Spain are better than the normal versions.
I've had some of them, so I back him fully on that. When I've been out there to Spain, I go to Alicante quite a lot for food. They do a San Miguel tostada. They do a Mao. Is it Mao or Mahou?
Mahou,
Apologies to any-
0%.
Yeah, and it's a tostada one, so it's a toasted one, and it is better than the standard zero.
What's the difference between a toasted one and a...
The toasted one, it's a darker. So I believe it's obviously the whatever grain or whatever they use in producing the beer is toasted. So I think it's basically like the equivalent of they use up the bits that are left. But the actual color of the lager is a far darker brown.
Joe Semo on the pod. He brews beers, don't we? We need to ask him some real questions here, because there'll probably be some listeners going, idiots.
The real connoisseurs of zeros are thinking, what are these two doing?
The other one was 0% wine. That gets a lot of negative reviews from everywhere for me. I haven't tried it myself.
I was going to say I'm similar. I love a red wine with like a steak, or red wine with a roast dinner when it's like a cold wintry Sunday and you have like a nice red inside. But the zero reds I've tried are basically Ribena. They're a bad Ribena that's gone off. I'm not naming any names, but I haven't tried a good red zero yet. And if anyone's got one, then please feel free to let us know, because I'm gagging for one.
What's your thoughts on grape juice in general?
Grape juice?
Yeah, just a grape juice.
Yeah, I'd say I like the taste of grape. I'd rather that than a red zero or white zero that I've tried. I like grape cordial as well.
Do you know what I want? I want to get an actual beer reviewer on the pod who can actually taste the 0% and then give us their fair score. I think that would be one. Or give recommendations if they ever go on a little zero.
Compared to mine and your palates, which are just clearly way off.
I'd like to classify myself as a pint man, right? I like a good pint, but I'm not one of these like craft beer junkies who go for the hops or the day session. I'm just like lager, get it in me, stout, get it in me. The IPA ale stuff, not for me. But I like an actual beer review would be class, wouldn't it? So they can go, yeah, that's a sucking serious beer. And I'd like to see if our top 5 changes at all. But if anyone's got any shout outs for their beer, or if you brew your own 0% beer and you'd like us to taste it, review it, and give us your honest opinion, our honest opinion, as well as our community's honest opinion, then get in touch. We'd love to have a little 0% taste. And what we will do is get the group to rate the 0% that we've discussed, so we can get an honest 0% drop community score, which we'll put on the Instagram. I think we're onto something here, Sam. I also think the market screams out.
Yeah, I would say when I went to Devon for a family holiday earlier this year, a lot of places have got Lucky Saint in their chillers, in their beer coolers at the back. So Lucky Saint has done a very good job, and I apologise to Lucky Saint because I'm feeling gutted I have not put that in my top 5. But what I will say is that there's definitely room there for a competitor to that, and something that can be on draft everywhere. If you've got a zero lager that's good, there's definitely a place in the market for a zero lager or zero stout that can be on draft everywhere.
Was it you who was speaking to our football club to ask them why they haven't got 0% on draft? And it was something to do with the longevity of the beer.
Yeah, I think The answer I got was that only if a certain amount of people will obviously drink the zeros. So for them to buy the big beer barrels of it, and for the actual how long it can stay on the pump.
To be fair to him, think football places, because so many people drive zeros and everyone has a beer after the game. You'd think that that would be like the one place where everyone might actually buy the zero.
Yeah, shout out Old Wilsonians, by the way, because Jasper, who runs the bar there, has an unbelievable selection of zero beers at the club in bottle form. Sounds like he knows me, but he's got an
Question:
unbelievable selection.
does he make you pour it yourself?
No,
Wow,
no.
that's a step in the right direction. How much is he charging for a 0% Guinness?
Oh, I don't know the exact amount on that because I have bought them in rounds. I know that the zero lagers are around about £3 for the bottles, which in this day and age you're not going to be getting anything cheaper than that when you go somewhere.
Yeah, you could still buy. I suppose it's the same as a crate of beer, though, isn't it?
Yeah, oh no, I've got not a bad word to say about them. Their selection is unbelievable.
I went to South Bank. Shout out South Bank. Their clubhouse has 0% on draft. San Miguel. And it was a little like hot summer's afternoon. No, kind of like autumn, but that weird heat that we've had recently. And after 90 minutes, supping that was. What I will say though, having a couple of pints on draft, zeros on draft, gets me in the mood to then have a proper beer.
Oh,
That was a weird. Like I can see why people break and why people don't go. They stay away from the non-alcoholics because as soon as it was in a pint and it went down and someone went, "Do you want another one?" I went, "Yeah," and I went, "I could drink 20 of these." And then obviously I wouldn't because I wouldn't want the zero hangover, but I could have easily gone if someone went to me, "Well, why don't you just get on the real stuff?" I could have gone and get that real stuff over here.
oh, so the actual pint could be a trigger for you to move on to the hard stuff.
Yeah, and I wouldn't order bottles in bars because I'm not an oddball like you. Do you know, I used to work in a karaoke bar years ago, and the owner said that he drank bottles because you're getting more alcohol for the volume of liquid because it's a percentage. And his
Okay.
theory was that it was a bottle has more alcohol in it per volume. But I think that's complete. I think he's actually got his maths wrong. Do you know what I mean? Volume and the percentage stays the same with the volume. But he was basically saying the more volume you have, you're still getting the same percentage of drink per capita, basically. So I just think it's nonsense. But anyway,
I've got something to mention actually on the as we're talking about the zeros. I had a bit of a strange moment a couple of weeks ago. I was driving to my brother's house for a family party, and I was indoors, and so I'd had an Asahi Zero indoors. I'd had like half the can, and I felt a bit thirsty still when I was leaving. So I was like, I had the two kids in the back of the car. I just took the Asahi Zero with me, and I was drinking it. I was drinking it as I was driving my car up the road and along the main road, and I was just like double take and questioning myself, like, is it okay that I'm drinking it? Because I'm drinking a beer whilst driving along with my children in the car, and then it was weird because I know there's no alcohol in it, but then I was thinking, okay, Asahi was a can, but I was thinking if it's the case with a bottle, if like the police see you drive by and you're like necking a bottle, and then you've got your kids in the car, they can't see the 0% on it from where they are.
yeah, that. But I've thought about this. At what point does it just become socially acceptable for everyone to have a 0% Guinness with their breakfast at work? You're sitting in an office and they're like, "Oh, what are
Yeah.
you drinking there?" "Yeah, 0% Guinness, actually." And then the whole office is just drinking Guinness.
Yeah, from early.
In theory, it should be fine, shouldn't it? I did think that the other week when I was like, I went out for lunch with everyone here at work and I thought, I could have a zero now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But surely that's fine.
Yeah, well, when I went to Turkey on a stag do recently, I couldn't find zero beers anywhere. Like I'd go to all the bars of an evening when I was out on the stag. We'd go to the restaurants. Nowhere had a zero beer. And then one of the older lads on the trip, he basically did some research into it one evening, and basically the president of Turkey had banned zeros from being served because he thinks that will increase people actually drinking alcohol. So he thinks that, like, you know, when you said you've had the you had the zeros, and then you said, oh, you could really have a normal beer now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't in the board meeting when he decided it, and I was very anti him doing it because it meant I couldn't have my zeros when I was away for the whole trip. But I don't know if he's basically saying that because youngsters could get hold of them, and then that would lead them on to drinking. I mean, in terms of the religion of their country, I know that there's not as much alcohol being consumed in Turkey as, for example, there is in England.
Yeah, it's a good point, isn't it? And again, like, vapes seem to be used quite widely in schools. I know I used to smoke a lot, but yeah, like, vapes are not as frowned upon as cigarettes. So in theory, if there was a load of kids just drinking 0%, is that weird? I think it is weird.
It's a whole different topic, but I think that they're actually advertising those vapes to appeal to children because they're doing them in all these multicolored rainbows and like all these weird, like, exotic flavors.
Yeah, the flavor bit's mad. Like, there's a taste bud thing to alcohol and to cigarettes that I think in time you get used to. I actually have had a load of chat about that. The Stubby French Lager was testament to people that would do the day's booze trip to Calais, and they'd pick up a couple of like cheap crates. And a lot of people have said they were always in houses after like Christmas where people would stock up on beers, and it'd always be surplus because they were like a quid to buy 24. That's why they're always in houses. So there is actually like a thing to that. And apparently Tesco's used to sell it really, really cheap. And that's why there were so many of them stubby drinks, everyone losing their drink virginity to them.
Yeah, I think my nan used to have them at her house, and I know for sure that her and her brother, I think they did those day trips where they would go with the car and fill it up in France with the cheaper wines and stuff like that. So it would all be aligning towards one because they were definitely at her house, and that's when I first saw them when I was really young growing up.
But it makes total sense now. The older generation were just looking to save a few quid, get pissed for cheap. And after the third or fourth, do you really know?
We need to get your dad on here for his top 5 and see if the Stubbies are number 1 still.
Big ale guy, Dion.
Oh, okay.
Big ale guy, yeah. And to be fair, I'm not sure he would remember any name of any of the beers. He's just like, that one was a nice pint. Probably gives a story from the 1950s of a good pint he had.
Shout out to your old man though. I know on your stag do, he made me feel old when I'd had a night on the zeros, and I said to him, "Oh, I'm going to walk back now. Do you want to walk back to the hotel together?" And he said, "Oh no, he's still staying out." So that was me.
Yeah.
That was me. I shuffled off out the bar. See you later.
Yeah. See you tomorrow, Den. Yeah.
Catch you at breakfast.
I'll take myself home. Yeah. Legend. Right, Sammy. Lovely episode. Listeners, if you want to get hold of us, you want to come on to the pod, or you want to know more about 0% drops, let's hear from you. You can find us on Instagram. We have a community on WhatsApp, so if you get us in touch on there, we can get you involved with the community. And in short, we're running out of content ideas because 0% beer is pretty linear, right? So any ideas you've got, then get in touch. But yeah, Sam, anything from you?
Yeah, I was going to say, breweries, beer makers, scientists, all the scientists out there, please, obviously, I know you follow us on Instagram already, but please drop us a message. If you want to get on and have a chat with us as well, that would be great. But yeah, like we said, any guests that are navigating the sober path, or they've stopped being sober now, please let us know, and we'd love to get you on for a chat.
Lovely. Right, ladies and gentlemen, see you all soon. Take care.
We've got some diet plans, health scans, sugar bans, fitness fans, PTs, injuries, laying off the Chinese, ball games, gym chains, protein gains and skin tight tops, and we ain't gonna stop until we hit the 50k. Drop, 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 no excess fat, no FAT, no curry bag, no guarantee. Rough or buff, lean on me, we'll end up as fit as a bear.